Okay, here we are. Here we are in the cafe. And I got the controller in here, which is really cool. I have kind of been giddy, excited. Took me a while. I was using the default one off of one of the default characters, but then I did my own with Stephen Ulibari, I think, his course. And I slowed her down because, let's see, I'm not very good at with the controller, but this is on my keyboard because we don't have the console controller yet. It's coming. And so the W, and I've got it turning so it's a little bit, I think it's a little bit better than the default one. I don't know, I can't remember, but she turns. That's the D, A, W, S. She turns all the way around and she hops. And so got that set up. That took a while. And then positioning her, and then I redecorated the inside of the cafe. And I did one other, I think, really cool thing. Let's see, I'm gonna stop this. Aside from decorating and playing in Unreal, it's been so fun. I haven't been in Blender for an entire week, which is unbelievable. And I'm gonna hit escape. Okay, that brings me back out. And then Alt click and turn, and I can select an item, kind of like we do in Blender. And then I imported a bunch of stuff that we had. It was super easy, a lot easier than it was in the past. And this was another asset that was Unreal, and I redecorated and I used some of what was already in here, and then I did import. Let's see, just we select an item, and we F, and it centers, and then Alt. So I made some chairs. I made the pink chairs, and then I started going and getting a bunch of assets that Daniel's been collecting because it was so fun and so easy. And then mostly I spent, but I did put in artwork, some artwork up here, and then we kind of press down on the mouse to go up and down and left and right. I'm still getting the swing of it. And so this asset, this farm, was a free one. And I painted and I sculpted the ground, which was super easy. I couldn't believe how easy it was. Which side? Oh, yeah. And then I played around with Daniel and we did this plateau painting in here. And then I just made a cube and started dropping materials just like we do in Blender. And F to select. And then I slowed her animation down because she was walking too fast or sliding too fast. So I had to put on we put in all the movements in the class, the WASD keys, and then right after we finished all that, then he goes into adding the console controller class. And I was having fun playing around, just brings my Barbie doll house. So I went and got the chocolate piano, and Daniel wrote up a new game design, and it was fun. We had a lot of fun this week. And then so then she runs around, but I got to speed her up to go down here to the farm. I'll click something and hit F, and that will bring me down here. So she's walking around, and once I get the game controller in the mail, and but now I'm going to go into Blender. So now I'll start getting all the game movements, whatever, the walking, the running, the jumping, the farming. But this is a really cute app, a cute thing, and gonna delete some. So it does this weird thing where it just kind of I thought, oh, what am I going to do? But I figured this out really quickly. There's just a paint tool in here. So you can, kind of like when you're in Blender, you can come up here to selection mode and then see there's a foliage selection. And I just played with it just a little bit. And so you can erase foliage and select it separately and then just paint it back on. I was like, well, I had no idea it was going to be so easy, but it's not so easy putting in the game controllers. So, let's see. So once you, let's see if it'll work now. So you click the selector and then you come down here to the foliage of everything that's in, like, let's see if I can see. This looks like anyways, you turn stuff on, like the trees. You just turn them on like this. It's so cool. And the pumpkins, let's turn the pumpkins on so we can select them. So now that they're turned on, we can select them, I think. So let's see. I forgot how to do it. Yeah, I'm selecting it, and then I hit F so I can zoom in on it. And my mouse is a little bit jumpy, but here, I'll select the fence. Oh, I don't have the fence on. That's on, just their fences here. Okay, I'll select a pumpkin. I might have to, it's a little bit, let's see. Zoom in, see if I can select one now. I'm not sure why we're selecting. Oh, that's right. I remember now. So there is, see this lasso up here at the top. I selected it, and way up at the top is the brush size. And now, depending on the size, see, it selects more or less, and it turns white. So if we just turn it down, it was like too low, and it wouldn't select anything. And now I think I can hit F. That kind of zooms me out, but you can see where I've selected it. And then there's the deselect tool. So you just go back up and click it. Oh, there's me clicking it. So this can come way down, and it was too low. That's right, I was trying to do this the other night. So I'll deselect everything, and then I'll select a few pumpkins, like right here. And now F to zoom in. So it works much better if you're kind of zoomed in and you're selecting more, or less. And so when I first started, there was too much selection. I mean, not enough selection. So it was down too far. Like it's down to 2. So I'll put 10 in there or something. And now see the dot is tiny. And I'll hit deselect, and then now see it's too small. It's circles for this. And I need it to be bigger to select. So I'll get back on the selector. Wait here. And then I don't see the size thingy. So now I can select. See, it doesn't really select very well. So I'm still learning, but getting back, I was using the lasso tool. And now I can just turn this up. Maybe it was also the selector. Okay. Select all foliage. deselect, lasso. You can paint them back on. So it's different than, a lot different than Blender in a way, but then a lot not the same. So now it's bigger, my selector. Turn it down. And it selects. My mouse seems so. So that's what I did. I selected and deleted all of the stuff that was on here because there was so much of it. You can see how big my selector is on the light. And now it's smaller. So this seemed to work really well. I just select what we want. So that's what I did. And then I ran around with the character. I wanted to change the 3. Oh, there we can see I'm selecting it. If I kind of move, kind of like when you're modeling in Blender and you don't pull the mouse back far enough when you're cutting loops. So that was really easy. That was fun. And then there's the scoop tool. Then there's the sculpt tool, which is like, where is it? Foliage, mesh, modeling. And brush editing, where is it? Landscape. That's where the sculpt tool was at. So it was right there. There's the sculpt tool. We can just, it's turned way up. And here's the brush size. So let's move it down, way down. And I'll show you. We can just start sculpting here. See? So that was super easy. So I'll undo that. So I've just been playing in here and learning. It's been so fun that I haven't been on Blender, but I have been importing my Blender models. So then I just go back to selection. And then here's the animation too, which I know I've imported animations into Blender files, but I haven't merged two. And that was really fun, and it really turned out easier. And we used AI to help us. So, and this is just really cool. So she had, let's see where she's going to drop in. If I hit play, there's a way to set up. Yeah, she's going to drop in here. And then there's a way to move where she drops in and out. And she was blazing around, but I was trying to get videos over in here, so I turned her down. So I'm finally to the point in my class. She has her game console controller on, set up, so when it gets here, all we have to do is plug it in USB to set up. So anyway, I'm excited. I've been kind of avoiding Unreal, and you can see how slow. You can turn your character way up high, and that's kind of what I've been obsessed with. It's just my 3D models. And importing was super easy. And in the past, so many problems with all that, but it's just gotten a lot easier because it kind of slows you down. So that's what I wanted to share. I wanted to share the controller, and I've been playing with her like crazy, and I'm so exhausted, but I don't want to sleep because it's so fun, and I want to jump. And when Steve does it, I don't know, he's way better at it than I am. Speed her up. Anyways, so we're going into the more of the animation, which is what I'm really trying to focus on. Because I love to draw, but it seems like I never get anything animated. Tons of modeling. Woo! Anyways, my niece went crazy. She saw, probably too crazy. She must be way too addicted to games. But anyway, okay, that was it. Bye. So, hit Shift F1. See, Shift F1 freezes. So now that loosens up the camera, but then I click back on it. But to free your mouth, Shift F1, And now I can come up here and click stop. All right. See you later. This is Star Fluke and Star Bloom and Pink Chocolate Game.